Sometimes words aren't just spoken. They come out of the soul like a stream. Not only do words move through the air, they change it, changing the very feel of quiet. Some words seem to cut right through the chaos and bring order where there was once chaos. They push fear away without getting in the way, like how light pushes shadows away. Some sayings in the oldest Jewish mysticism traditions don't need rituals or smoke to be heard. They only need awareness, the kind that comes when the heart is fully present. There is one line among those holy words that stands out from the rest. It was only 4 words in Hebrew, short and simple, but with a huge meaning. The wise people say it's a spiritual key, a word that connects the soul to what stays the same. When it is said honestly, it turns into an invisible wall, not against the world, but within it. A wall made of purpose. It doesn't protect you by magic, but by helping you remember who you are beneath the noise. It doesn't matter where you are, at home, on the street, or in the middle of a bad mood. The phrase has power not because of how it sounds, but because it makes you think of something old. It's not something that should be said out of the blue. It should be said with knowledge, with trust, that doesn't need proof, and with a heart that knows when to be still. Before you go any further, let this be a small invitation. As an act of light, sign up. Because when we share these bits of knowledge, we don't just keep our own peace. We also bring back the flame in people who had lost it. Write in the comments, I trust the light that surrounds me, if what you're hearing makes sense to you. Say it not to look good, but to connect. When you say something with love, it rings in your mind. It's not always possible to understand what words mean. Some are there to be explored, like secret rooms that the soul finds when it's time. There are phrases that are living in silence, but are not spoken out loud. They move through the air like ghosts, a presence that can be felt before it is seen. That phrase right here is one of them. It's not a written request or blessing. In the still space between chaos and clarity, there is a line that says, I am here. I know what's in front of me. On the mystical road, there are words that aren't formed by the mouth but by the mind. That's the type of phrase this is. Its power doesn't come from how it sounds, but from the purpose behind it. Some sayings aren't meant to change the world. They're just meant to help you find your way through it. It's not a map, but a guide. It doesn't point north, but toward your own center, the point where your soul lines up with what will never fade. Every word is like a building block. Every moment of quiet between them lets light in. It has no decorations. It's just structure, like a temple made of memory and breath. People who carry it within don't need safety from the outside. This word changes the order inside you, not the circle around you. It lights the lamp in the mind's room, and all of a sudden, everything is where it should be. People have heard it in their dreams, and in scary moments when no other reason seemed to make sense. It doesn't belong to a certain time. It was there before words. No one teaches it, but people remember it. It's like a word that never goes away. And when it comes to you, you won't say it as much as become it. The phrase comes out like a breath before dawn. You wait for it instead of chasing it. And when it does come, it doesn't need to be introduced. It brings silence with it. Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid is what it says. The Eternal has always been in front of me. Just 4 words. There are 4 things that knowledge can stand on. Not a figure of speech, but a choice. Being present in your life is a choice you can make. To look at every action, thought, and word through the lens of something that doesn't change. The Psalms use these words, but they can be used for a lot more than just prayer. They are written on small scrolls called shiviti and hung near the place where people think and reflect in Jewish homes. They are not there for decoration, but to remember people that everything they think, say, or do happens in the eyes of eternity. Words like these are carved into stone above the Ark in some churches in Jerusalem. The Ark holds the Torah scrolls. They are written by hand and hung next to the door of poor homes to remember people who walk in that being aware is itself protection. Many people say them out loud when they are scared, as if they were making a wall of light around their spirit. Scholars and mystics don't use this term. Anyone who needs to remember they're not alone can wear it, because saying it brings up something older than language. A stillness that has always been watching, directing and waiting. Say it slowly and once. Like you're starting a fire, Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid. There's no need to ask for safety. It's about remembering that you are already there. Certain facts can only be found in silence, not in noise. Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid is a Hebrew phrase that doesn't need to be sung or played. It's meant to be lived, to be left alone in the silence between heartbeats. People who have been on the inner path say that this phrase is not so much a prayer as it is a gateway between what we see and what keeps us going. When it's said with full awareness, it's like a light flickering in the wind, fragile but unbreakable. Saying, "I have set the eternal always before me," is like changing the way you think about things. It's meant to bring the unseen to the fore and leave the noise behind. The phrase doesn't protect you from the outside world. It just brings your mind back in touch with the deeper current of reality, which runs even when there is no sound. When the words are said slowly and with purpose, they start to move through the body instead of just the air. They turn into a steady, calm old heart. Some people who follow Jewish mysticism think that awareness is the best way to show loyalty. Being aware and able to see clearly means that you are already in the presence of the divine. When you say Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid, you're not calling for holiness in the sky. You're recognizing it in the air, in the present moment, in the breath you just took. Picture a woodworker benting wood in the sun while he works, or a mom folding her kid's blanket at night, or a tourist crossing a street full of people. When you know that the eternal stands before me, the sages say that every action, no matter how small, can be made right. When you remember it, you can see the holy in the everyday. The term has had many lives over the course of history. It has been carved into stone, written on paper, and worn in the folds of a person's shirt. Some churches in ancient Jerusalem put the words above the Aron Kodesh, or Holy Ark, so that everyone who came in would see them first. The same phrase was written by hand and put by the doorway of poor homes as a quiet promise of safety and presence. It was kept in the pockets of travelers. It was said in a low voice by soldiers before battle. Scholars said it before reading, and tired people said it before resting. There are many stories. Before going to work, a father stands at the door, closes his eyes, and says the phrase quietly. He doesn't know what's beyond the door, but he chooses not to walk alone. When a mom tucks her kids in at night, she smooths their hair and whispers the same words over and over again. She doesn't do this out of habit, but as a sign of trust, and to cover up what she can't control with love. Spiritual teachers have said this phrase to people in hospitals who are about to have surgery, not to make them forget about the pain, but to tell them that there is presence even when they are scared. They've written it on their helmets, guns and letters home while they were at war. Because faith has to get stronger, or at least more aware when fear becomes real. For them, these 4 words weren't about staying alive. They were about remembering the strong link between being alive and having a purpose in life. This phrase isn't limited to words. You don't have to know Hebrew to understand how deep it is. When Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid is transmitted, it moves from sound to silence, from lips to heart, and from awareness to stillness. This is what the text is all about. No matter what words or tone you use, it will always mean the same thing. You are not alone and never have been. If you speak, something in the air moves. It gets softer in the room. The mind's edges get smoother. Not because we want a miracle, but because we need to remember that life itself is one. The phrase connects different ways of being, like between awake and asleep, doing and relaxing, moving and giving up. Many wise people said to say it before going to sleep, because the soul works in silence while the body rests. At night, the self goes to places it has never been before, like memories, fears, and hopes. Saying Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid right before you go to sleep is like turning on a lamp at the dream door. Even in darkness, I remain aware, is written on it like a seal. In Kabbalistic thought, there is a secret idea that when you dream, your mind goes through pieces of creation and touches both light and shadow. Going there without being aware of it is like drifting without a hook. But taking this phrase with you to sleep is a safe way to move. Use presence as your guide. It doesn't stop the night from coming, but it shows you how to be calm during it. This is why the words do more than just protect. They shape. They change the way the inside and outside worlds meet. They are not walls. They are building blocks. When you say them over and over, your mind clears, your breath gets deeper, and your thoughts get back in order. If you really listen, you might feel like something from the past is reacting, as if the phrase itself had been waiting to be spoken again. Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid doesn't just say you, it says you. The harmony that was always there under the worry, fear, and noise of everyday life is brought to mind. It doesn't ask you to leave the world, but to see it in a new way, as a place that already has value for you. Say it now, but not loud. Feel it in your chest. God bless you, Lenegdi Tamid. You're not calling on the light. You're just remembering that it was always there. Night doesn't come as an end, but as a barrier. It's the thin line between what you see and what you feel. It's the moment when the outside world goes away and the inside world starts to breathe. For hundreds of years, wise people have said that sleep is more than just rest for the body. It's the soul's journey through hidden places. We don't have to be careful when we're in those quiet places, which is why being aware before sleep is holy. Before closing your eyes, whispering Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid is like building a wall between your mind and what you can't see. It's a small way to remember and confirm that the spirit stays awake, even when the body gives up. The phrase is like a light that is taken into the dark, not to drive away the night, but to walk through it with style. The words start to get longer when you say it slowly. They stop being sounds and become things that are there. The air changes. The heart beats less fast. The mind, which was all over the place just now, starts to settle down like sand after a storm. You understand that the word is now speaking for you instead of you speaking it. Isis thought that when you sleep, your soul loses its connection to the physical world and moves to places of reflection, which can be peaceful or scary. During that drifting, it comes across bits of memory, fear, and desire. Saying Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid before you go on that trip is like sending a guide ahead of you. There is a message that says, don't forget where home is. This area can be set up in a lot of different ways, none of which are ritualistic. Sages used to say that all it takes to find peace is a candle, a breath, or even a single clear thought. It's not the shape that counts, but the awareness it brings. How to light a candle. Put out a small light next to your bed. Light it not for how bright it is, but for what it means. The light doesn't get rid of the darkness. Instead, it makes it glow. Take a moment to sit in front of it. Its dance should make you think of breathing. Then say the line 3 times, each time a little slower than the last. Let the light move inside you with each breath. When you finally put out the light, know that the fire is still there. It's just moved from the wick to you. The soft voice on the pillow. Lay down, close your eyes, and say the phrase once, this time not up, but down, as if you want it to sink into the pillow. Picture it lying there, quietly humming under your head, keeping an eye on your dreams. If your mind starts to wander, let the phrase softly catch it and bring it back to the present moment. The written word. Some people write the phrase by hand on a small piece of paper every night. Some people say that writing it is like drawing a light path across the world's surface. It's like taking a breath with every letter and stroke. Put it under your pillow or next to your bed when you're done. The act is not superstition. It is a way to talk to the unknown, sending a quiet word that says, someone here remembers. The meditation in silence. This saying can help you stay still if you practice it. Don't look at anything. Take deep breaths. Don't think about the words. Just repeat them in your mind. Let them shape you. Think of each repeat as a light wave that gets wider in all directions. The mind will stay awake while the body sleeps for scary nights. There are nights when it seems impossible to find peace, when the soul shakes and the shadows feel close. On those nights, don't whisper. Speak out loud. Say the phrase out loud, making it clear and strong as if you are setting a sacred boundary. Here, fear does not enter. I stand here with the eternal in front of me. You could put your hand over your heart or hold something that makes you feel strong. It's not the action that counts, but the thought that went into it. The phrase is not a spell. It is present. It doesn't get rid of the darkness. Instead, it changes how you stand in it. The dream world changes when the soul goes to sleep consciously. What used to chase you now leads you. What scared you at first becomes your teacher. After that, the night is no longer a threat. It turns into a mirror. Every hour of quiet shows you something you couldn't hear during the day. And when morning comes, it doesn't feel like waking up from sleep, but more like coming back from a holy trip. For those who live with Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid, the night is not something that stops life. It's just life going on in a different language. Awareness links the self to eternity, just like breath links the body to the moment. When you rest on purpose, your soul learns how to dream on purpose. Take a moment tonight before the world goes dark. Take a moment to sit on the edge of your bed and say the phrase. Do not rush. Let it go up and down. Let the message go beyond the sound. The soul will notice big things even if you don't. There is an old part of you that will nod in agreement. Know this, when the lights go out, you're not going into nothingness. You're going into the other half of being with a spark that never goes out. Say it one more time. Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid. The Eternal has always been in front of me. Let those words float away and fall asleep. They'll find you there, ready, aware, and whole. The morning comes quietly, not as a start, but as a continuation of the mental work that was done at night. At dawn, the light that touches everything is the same flame that you carried through the dark. Now it shows what it hid. Rising from sleep with Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid still in your chest is a sign that awareness doesn't go to sleep. It just changes its rhythm. You'll look at the day through the same phrase that helped you through your dreams. It doesn't get lighter in the sun. Instead, it gets darker. It's not just a whisper before you rest. It becomes the way you move, speak, listen, and breathe in silence. Sages often said a simple truth. Awareness is not a place you go to, it's a way you come back to. You return to alignment every time you remember the phrase, whether you're stuck in traffic, having a chat, or not sure what to do. Next, you go back to the axis. You feel the presence of something that has always been with you, even before you learned to name it. Ghosts that used to only appear at night now have different looks. They turn into the noise of daily life, the stress of making choices, and the pain of doubt.
But even in that state, this phrase works quietly to tell you that the same awareness that kept you awake while you slept can also keep you awake while you move. Say the words when the day gets too much.
Spread them out when your mind is foggy. Close your eyes if you want to. Don't stop. Take a deep breath and remember, I have always set the Eternal before me. That small action changes the way things are right now. It once again draws the holy line between disorder and order, between activity and peace. Some people write the saying on their desk, put it by the door, have it engraved in metal, or wear it around their wrist. Some people take it with them in silence, repeating it over and over like a secret beat that keeps them steady. It doesn't matter how you hold it. What counts is that it becomes a part of your consciousness and a quiet reminder that being aware is prayer itself. In fact, prayer is more than just words. It's how you walk, what you see, and how you choose not to forget. Everything you do, every look and every moment of quiet becomes an offering when you live with Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid in front of you. You start to see the divine design hidden in the everyday, the way luck works in pairs, the space between your thoughts, and the order that you can't see behind what seemed like chaos at first. Things in life don't stop being unexpected. The pain doesn't go away. Just because you remember doesn't make the world softer. There is a change inside you, though, and every time you drift away, it pulls you back to silence. That's what these 4 words are really powerful for. They don't change what takes place, but they do change how you deal with it. In this way of life, you understand that light doesn't just come from above, it also comes from inside. The phrase takes on the form of a stance or way of being. It teaches you that faith is not blind belief, but lucid presence, which means being able to stay awake even when things are unsure. There will be times when you forget, like when the day gets too loud or when the rush starts up again. But Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid is beautiful because it waits, like the sun behind the clouds. As soon as you remember, the link starts up again. Being aware never hurts you. It only wants you to come back. Mystics used to say that people who really had the phrase didn't need safety from outside sources. Being aware of things became their shield. The word goes through you instead of around you. It sets up the inner world so that the outer world can't take over. It's like lighting a single candle in your chest. The spark stays steady no matter how strong the wind is because it knows where it comes from. That might be what it means to hold the Eternal in front of you, not as something far away or unreachable, but as someone who is present in every breath, glance, and stop. It means to live as if the Holy walks a little ahead of you, lighting up each step before you take it. Do it again tomorrow. Stop by the door before you leave. Take a deep breath. Say it slowly and once. Shiviti Adonai Lenegdi Tamid. Be still and let the words settle in like light armor that keeps you in place. As you start the day, let that awareness guide you. You may notice that other people feel different, that things take longer to happen, and that the world seems to breathe with you. Say it again when night comes back. Not as a repeat, but as a beat. Both day and night, waking up and sleeping, become one long act of remembering. because they are part of language. Some words lose their meaning over time. But this phrase came from silence, and quiet never gets old. It stays alive because it lives in awareness, which is the only thing that never stops. Deal with it. Follow it. Think about it every time you look in the mirror, talk to other people, or face the unknown. When you do that, every moment feels like it fits into forever. If these words have touched you, please join as a kind act. Not for me, but for people who have forgotten how to remember, please share this word. You bring another soul home every time you become aware. Write, "I walk with the light before me," in the comments if the line speaks to you. Do it not because you always do it, but because you want to make a statement and remind yourself that when you speak the truth, your soul reacts. Good night, and may you rest in peace. You should always know that the same spirit that watches over you while you sleep is with you today. Even though you can't see them, say it one last time in a quiet voice, like a promise. God bless you. Lenegdi Tamid. The eternal has always been in front of me. I don't believe it. I remember it. Not as a vacation, but as a wake-up call, as a way of life. Not as a practice, because being aware is like a spark that never goes out, and you are the one who keeps it going.